cut at an angle like this. When you finish cutting through, you have to take your knife and then straighten this up as much as possible. And we have to put a V-notch in it like this. Then we have to make a mark all the way around the bark and making sure that it gets through the bark. Because we're going to have to try to get the whistle part off of the wooden stick, and this will be a problem if you do it, the sap's up not good enough, and it's possible it's not. It's because it's early spring. You can take and tap it, and sometimes it'll break it loose. This is the main thing, that the sap is up enough for this to work. But you have to have you a good hickory stick. I'd rather have one that had much further. I'd rather have one that had this, at least this far between knots. It makes it a lot easier. This is a rough stick to work with. We'll see how it turns out. It's not turning out too good. It don't seem. Okay, this I may try a tool that we didn't have when we were kids, because we really watched the hickory and made sure it was in good order before we attempted this. I thought this is a little dry. The first attempt at making the whistle didn't work because I tried to make it too early in the spring. The sap wasn't up good on the hickory. If you see this hickory here, you'll see that it's budded out, and the sap has come up enough to start working it. Making these whistles was a rite of spring at the Midway Elementary School in Stewart County, Tennessee. We would, all of the boys that would go to school there, everyone had a pocket knife, and we would go out at this time of year and find the hickory and make our whistles out of it. Each whistle had a little different tone to it, and once you got to hear each boy's whistle, you would know where they were in the woods by the tone of the whistle. You could increase or decrease the tone by pulling the long stick in and out of the bark. Also by the size of the cut that you made in the V-shaped portion that went in the back of the whistle. I'm going to continue on trying to show how to make a hickory whistle. Wait until your saplings get the buds on them, looking something like this. And as I said before, you put this at an angle. You have to get it between the knots. It has to be smooth, perfectly smooth all the length. I had to cut this one really short because I'm not finding hickory that's good and straight like I'd like to have. Then you cut your V out in the top. This top up here with the elongated portion. You cut this out. Then you ring this, that. You ring it until you're through the bark. Make sure you're through the bark and into the inner of the hickory. Then you beat it. You're going to have to beat it till you may think it's not going to turn loose, but you just keep beating on it till your hand gets really tired, and then maybe you can turn it. This one is a kind of a egg-shaped twig, and so I'm having a little trouble with it. You need a perfectly round twig if you can get it, and okay, try to get it out and we'll continue. All right, finally got it out. Let's pull it out. One reason it was so hard is I didn't get through the bark like I told you to do. You really have to make sure you get through the bark. Now, trim from here back. This is where the air will come through. So you have to trim this back. And this will be what gives you the pitch. According to the thickness of this is what pitch you'll have out from your whistle. Then you have to cut this at this area right here where the V is. You have to cut that in two. Now, you slide this into this portion. This is the angled cut. Slide it in. Try to get it where it was. Then you take this end slide it in. Okay, slide it in. All right. Now that you should be able to pull this up or down and make a different sound. And so far, this is not making any sound. Let's see. If you can make this longer, give you a little bit more sound. See if I can make a little noise with it now. All right. So that's how you make a hickory whistle. And like I say, if you can get one that has a longer section between knots, you should have a little better luck with it. Probably making it a little smaller. This is a lot of whittling. Hickory is really hard, and this is it's really hard to cut. You can cheat a little bit, use a small saw, and when you go to cut the middle, use some kind of cutters, but hopefully it'll give you an idea of how you make a hickory whistle.